This is John in the faith in Christ Jesus, in the joy, in the will of God. That's where we're supposed to be. That's where we strive to be and stay to be. And so we strive to know the will of God. He has chosen us to know the will of God, to see Him and to know Him. And so we're grateful for that. We're glad, and we live every day as a demonstration of people that know God. And as He's called us into that and blessed us with that, with very God Himself, then our life is not our own. We don't make our own decisions anymore. Many are deceived into thinking that you can be a Christian and have yourself. You don't. You've given yourself. You're in the hands of God, and that's a great thing. But people are scared of it. They loathe it. They don't like it. They don't like the sound of it. I want to be my own man. I want to make my own decisions. I want to live my own life. Well, then you miss out. You miss out on all the rewards of God. God pays handsomely. You miss out on the payments, the reward, the security, the health, the promises, His word. Even in one of the prophets recently, I read how he talks like that. He says, "What are you talking about? The day of the Lord. Why are you looking forward to that? It's gonna come, but it's not gonna be good for you. Why are you waiting for it with hope? No, you don't obey. That's not gonna be a good day for you." So He's telling us, hey, just because it's in the Bible doesn't mean it's for you, because you're ignoring the other things I say. You're not loving God. You can't love the things of God and not God Himself. And so we look to God, and you might ask and wonder, okay, well then how do I love Him? And he makes it clear. If you love me, keep my commandments. Those that love me do what I tell them to do. And He's always talking. He's always telling us what to do. And so people leave. That's too much. That they didn't sign up for that. They wanted those things over there. All that gold, all that food, all that victory, all that glory. And they leave. They leave because they can't handle this. Do what I say. Oh, well then, right? They still want it. They look at it, they walk away. Like, I wish I could have it. But you cannot. In the way, there's God saying, do my will. And so many people won't cross that. No. So our pride prevents us from accepting that, and the depth of that, the extent of that, my whole life. So people may start, people may do one thing and another thing. They might get baptized, they might go to church, and then they don't progress though. Because God says, well, if you are to follow me, it looks like this. Do this. And they might do that. Like I said, go to church or fellowship with some believers or read some of the Bible. And then if God says, okay, good, now do this. And then if they say no, that's their own mind kicking in. And God's going to say, well, you don't have an option. You don't have a choice. You got to do this. You got to keep going. And that's when people start developing their own beliefs. They branch off into new doctrines, new denominations, new churches. Hey, they might rebel. They might gather a group of people and say, hey, we don't have to do all this, right, guys? And they're going to say, yeah. And they'll go off and be a splinter group that just fell off. They're not another gospel. They're not another Jesus. It's not Jesus. It's not Christians. It's not God. God says, no, mine, those that are mine are those that do my will. No exceptions, no excuses. We do it. We must do it. He gives room for you to work through and work past your confusion and resistance. And so that's what we are to do with our day and our time and our energy, to persuade ourselves, to talk to ourselves, to motivate ourselves, encourage ourselves to do the will of God. I don't want to. And then you talk to yourself, hey, this is worth it. Hey, God's faithful. Hey, You're supposed to talk to yourself, give yourself reasons, draw up. Remember David, remember Moses, remember the testimonies, remember what happened to Apostle Paul, remember. And you're supposed to meditate on the Word of God and be able to fight that battle and to bring yourself back into alignment, into obedience, to get back up and do the will of God again, and to change your answer, even if that's why Jesus gave us that parable. There's a son who says no, but then he says yes. I accept that guy. It's okay. It's okay that you said no, as long as you end up doing my will. And then you have the opposite. He gives those two examples. And then there's some that said, yes, let's do it, I'll do it. And then they don't actually end up doing it. And so God made it very plain. It's amazing how so many things in the Bible, what God wants to tell us is so plain. It's so simple. He says it in many ways. He might use different words and vocabulary and names and people. But sometimes he just lets us know, hey, what I'm trying to tell you is do good and you'll get good. And yeah, I was washing my hands today and it just came to mind that, oh my goodness, that's it. You want good, do good. And why do we have headaches? Why? Because we won't do good. We won't do it. I have things I want to do. That's sin. It's my own will. It could be lying and cheating and stealing and fornicating and being mean and rude or murder, kidnapper. It could also be just my own will. Just, I don't want to do that, God. I don't want to do it now. I don't want to do that. That's all sin. That's all sin. And so we want to do that. We have things we want to do. And what if God says, no, don't do it now? And you say, but I want to do it now. And you insist, and then you do it because you want to. It doesn't feel like sin. You might tell yourself that's not sin. But none of that matters, what you think and what you say. Because God is judge, and he judges you. He's judging that as sin, and he told you. He made it plain. And so that's why we have headaches. That's why we have headaches, figuratively and literally, because we just don't want to do good, and we're frustrated because we want good to be what I say is good. That's my own will. But man destroys himself. God saves us from ourselves so that we actually do what we ought to do in the time we ought to do it. And you see how much discipline it takes, even in the natural, just that basic thing. You could graduate from school, and even to do well at school, you need to do that basic principle. Do what you should do when you should do it. And look how the majority struggle with that. And yet, even after if you've done well in that, through your schooling, you might slack in the professional world. Because how long is man supposed to do this? And so people get midlife crises. I've been doing it. And then there's no return. You're pouring in, you're denying yourself, and then all for nothing. So your parents told you to be this, and the society tells you to be this, and you try to be that, and you get the money, and you get married, and you get the house, and you get the dog, and you get the lifestyle, and you walk in the morning, and you run, and you maintain a healthy lifestyle, and then and you're dry. You're dissatisfied, you're angry, you're upset, you're frustrated. Maybe I just need to drink more coffee, and you're more anxious, and you don't know what's going on because you won't do good. You won't do good. So, or you don't want to do anymore what you should do, when you should do it. So God tells us actually what's good. He says, hey, you guys have many ideas. You guys have many systems. And look how it falls short, all of them, with all of you guys. Look how angry you guys are, how you guys are so unforgiving to each other, how you guys don't have mercy, how you guys fraction off and can't have unity. You guys keep fighting and are disappointed and betrayed and heartbroken. Why? How come you guys can't work it out? Who does anyone have wisdom among you? We don't. In the world, we don't. We have what do we have? We don't have love. We don't have love. But we have many books on love. We have many people preaching or teaching, giving speeches, motivational speeches on love, counselors on love, who themselves might have broken personal relationships. Because what do we have? We don't have love. We don't have mercy. We have arguments. We have a brain, and we have arguments, and we have a tongue that can just say whatever. We can just make it whatever. So that's convenient. We don't have to do good anymore. We've got this. I can just do whatever I want and just talk over it. It's good because it's good. If you look at it like, if you think about it like, and we can talk all over it and bury it in speech. And so people are convinced by these advertisements, companies, salespeople, counselors, experts, statisticians, scientists, scholars, reporters, journalists. They all just can heap up words on top of no good. It's not actually good. What are you doing? It can be simple in God. Just he'll tell you what's good. You do it and you can get good. You do good and you get good. So simple. Step 1, step 2, do good, get good. But we don't do good. We say we did good, and where's the getting of we don't get good? Because we didn't actually do good. It's very far away. There's many steps in between. You don't do good, and then you just say, oh, no. It's not as simple as do good and get good. No. The world is a complex world, you see. There's all these molecules and atoms and principles and thermodynamics and geology and geography and astrology. We got to put all that together. We got to understand all that in quantum physics and, the Google and SEOs and the business and MBA, and you got to have a doctor's degree. Life is complicated, son, sir, man. It's not just do good and get good. You got to know your finances. You got to know, you got to have insurance. You got to have life insurance. You got to have a helmet on. You need to know how to get on the roller skates and the bicycle and ride the car and take the bus. It's not just do good and get good. You need all this other stuff. That's why a lot of times you might not get good. So they want to explain it all away. They want to argue all their points. They want to say, you got to read this book. You got to... They think it's knowledge, but it's not real knowledge. And no one wants to know God, who will tell them what is good. Oh, it's this. They just don't like that it's step by step by step. But we Christians, we love God. We love that he talks to us. We're appreciative. We're grateful. We tell God, talk to us more. Keep talking to us. Tell me what's the next step. And we do it. And he tells you the next step and you step. And he tells you how to walk, what to do every day. Do this, okay. You get to do it. You can do it. You don't have to think of 50 other principles. You do what God says. And things are good. And they keep being good. And they're good again, and good continues. Why? Because you continue to do what he says, and you do what he says, and that's good. That's good, because that's what God says is good, what he says. And so we confuse ourselves. We have all kinds of theories, so many theories. You don't have to be a scientist. You talk to people, you'll be amazed. Everyone has personal theories about life. Whether they can talk articulately with words with many syllables and sound very smart, they'll have theories. Or whether you talk very simply and you might not talk very clearly, and they're also going to have theories about life. See, life is all all it really is they're going to say what they think. you look at them and their lives, and there's going to be no production, no consistency of good. There's going to be much talk to explain the confusion. They're grasping, they're trying to make sense of it, they're trying to order it, and they're going to tell you the story of how that's going so far. Well, you see what happened 10 years ago is it all started 10 years ago with my grandma and my nana and my auntie, and when they got together and they used to do this, and they cooked, shrimp and crabs, and it tasted really good, and that was way back there in this city and country. And then what does that have to do with you suffering from this or that, or you not knowing this? Well, see, it's funny that you asked that, because one time my shoe, I lost my shoe, and I found it in the gutter, and hey, they're gonna try to put this together. Their life is in shambles, and they got explanations for everything. Why my heart is broken, why my mind is broken, why my front door is broken, why I keep running into this cycle in my life, why I keep experiencing this. It's because the world is, and it's because, so we can blame, we can explain, we can put stories, we can put theories together, and that's why we got the headaches. That's why we have the headaches, because that's frustrating, and it takes a long time, and you lose sleep, and your dreams are messed up, and your thoughts are messed up, and your life is messed up, because the sequence, the order, that you don't actually know what to do. You don't actually have peace. But there's a lot of talk. You talk to people, and you can hear the noise. Wow, it's very noisy. It's very noisy. Your thoughts and your talk and the content of your speech and the reason, it's going all over the place. It's not connecting, and you don't even know it. Oh, those two things, they don't make sense. And with the third thing, that especially doesn't make sense. You're not making sense. You're confused. And they stop talking, and then they switch the subject, and they got many hobbies, many things that they think about and like and love and hate, and they're going to tell you all about that. But there's no order, there's no clarity, there's no hope, there's no direction, there's no future. It's just a lot of fear, a lot of guessing, a lot of pride. So that's what pride would have us to do and become. Nothing, and yet claims about titles and names, and oh, call me Dr. So-and-so. Oh, I have this certificate to my name. Oh, I do this great thing. I help these people, or I'm the one that, and they really grab hold tight of things that they can claim, or things that would make them feel good, or things that make them feel like they've achieved, when, gosh, all of that amounts to, you put it all in the calculator and press the equal sign, and zero. You get zero, and you're going to be baffled. Put it back in there, put the numbers in there, crunch it again, push the equal sign, and it comes out to zero again. Why? Because at the end, in the end, it's all going to be what God says. It is none of what you said. It's none of what your friend said. None of what your BFF said. None of what your mommy and daddy and your nephew said. It is what God says. And God says, that's no good. God says, that's going to amount to nothing. He told the rich man that was so rich, so prosperous, he was so subtle, he was able to make all this money somehow, that he could afford to break down his barn and build up a bigger barn, store it all up. And God said, you fool. Yeah, I'm sure he was confused and looked around. Oh, God's talking. He's calling someone a fool. I wonder who it is. Is it my dog? Is it my cat? Is it my boss? Is it my coworker? No, it's you. He's talking to you. No, it can't be me. I'm wise. It can't be me. I'm successful. It can't be me. I mean, look at this. I'm so comforted in my heart. I'm so confident that I made it. I did this life thing. I beat life. Can you imagine? And God says, you fool. Fool. No. How? No way. Me? A fool? I dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. I'm a multi-billionaire of this corporation. I made it myself by my own strength. I mean, look at me. And he can't preserve his life. He's dead. This night, he dies. And he's going to see his riches. But he can't touch any of it. He can't use any of it. Oh, all my riches up there on earth. What? Oh, man. You worked all that. You invested all that. You built up all that. You can't even use it. You built up your barn. You stored it all up. And you're looking at other people that are left alive in the land of the living. Oh, you guys, don't use it like that. No. Oh, that's a waste. Don't put it there. That's my money. What are you doing with my money? And meanwhile, God's saying, hey. Over here, that stuff's not yours anymore. You left that in the land of the living. You're among the dead now. It's time for your judgment now. And so we're freed from that future, that judgment, that ending of our story. So, man, that's why we got headaches. We don't do good. We don't do good and we don't see good. We don't do good and we don't get good. And so it's simple, right? It's simple. You don't get good because you don't do good. No. And give them a turn to talk. And they don't want it to be step one, step two. You don't get good because you don't do good. No. Pull it, expand it. There's some steps in the middle. You see what happened is, oh, here we go again with the long stories, the winding road. They can't connect. No, it's actually a short trip. You do good and get good. You don't do good, that's why. That's why you're suffering from the headache, because you're lying. You're lying to yourself. We're lying. I watched the movie a long time ago. I was very entertained by the movie. It wasn't very entertaining, but it was just this one point. I've never seen a movie do that with a character. The movie was basically, I'm not really sure even if I recall the title of it, but it was this character that's basically lying. He's a liar, but he thinks a lot. And so I was very amused by the movie because I think a lot. I used to, and I have thoughts in my head, but I have peace now. I know how to direct my thoughts, control my thoughts. I know what to do with my thoughts. I know how to judge my thoughts. So there's order now. There's peace now. There's God now. There's a rubric. There's a criteria now. Oh, there's a standard. Oh, the thoughts of God. Oh, it doesn't line up? Okay, trash. I can dismiss my own thoughts. I have the freedom to not agree with myself. I have the freedom to not be in bondage, a slave to every whim and feeling and thought. I was a slave to my thoughts. I thought my thoughts gave me control. No, I was a slave to my thoughts. I need the thoughts of God to free me because God is good and He releases good into my life, light into my life. So I have light in my life. So back then I had thoughts. And I was confused by my own thoughts because where do they come from? They're influenced by the media, by the world that has all kinds of, like I said, theories and voices and ideas, and they all contradict. They don't make sense, but you're trying to put it together and it doesn't produce a life because who can prove that? Who can tell if that's true or that's true? And you can't either. You can't either. You can't find truth without God. There's no truth. There's just argument A, B, C, D, all the way through Z. And once you feel like, oh, I can work with that, there's one A and one B, one C, and the whole nother set, 2A, 2B, 2C, 3A. Okay, so where does this end? It's like scrolling through options and You just keep scrolling and you're like, oh, whoa, I can't look through all these options. It just keeps refreshing and keeps loading, and there's too many. You can't exhaust it. So you're on overdrive, you overheat. Thoughts. Oh, why did he say that? Why did he say that? He probably said that because he thinks this of me. And does he? But did she tell him? Did she talk to him? Is that what's going on? Do they know? Do they talk to them? Well, if they did, well, and if they didn't, no, they probably think this. Well, it's because of their own lives. In their own lives, they go through that, and that's why they think this of me. No, no, I'm sure they're not even thinking of me. They're too busy. But what if they do? What if they did? Suffering, torment. And so in this movie, the guy is doing that, and they have a voiceover. So he's just driving in the car. His mouth's not moving, but you hear voices. Oh, it's this guy's thoughts. Oh, this is very amusing. This is entertaining. So I was watching it, and that was very interesting. Seeing, oh wow, I didn't see a movie do this before. That was so. I'm sure the script was really long. It was very wordy. Just how he'd be driving, and his thoughts are going and going and going, and then it escalates because I think what happens. So I might be making stuff up, but it's okay. It's kind of close. What happens in the story? I think he maybe finds out how to embezzle money, into some kind of crime to shore up some money. I think he talks about like, yeah, it's just a little bit every time it goes into my account, and they don't even notice. And of course, you can imagine the kind of thoughts that he might be having as he's doing this, as he justifies, well, it's not a lot, they won't even notice, but it will be successful. Will I get caught? No, I probably won't get caught because they'll see this, but then I have this in place. So that was going on, and then it starts an investigation, and then of course he's going to get more nervous, and they start to catch on to him. They interview him, and he's talking, trying to cover it up. Eventually, the evidence mounts up, and the climax of the movie is like in his house or in a motel room, and the investigators come, and it's just evidence, more evidence, and they cornered him, and they're questioning him, and he thinks he's confident, he's proud, he thinks he can get away with it. Oh yeah, well, ask me anything. What is? And he keeps trying to explain away all the things as they're showing him. So we have this document here, and we see you sign this, and you said this, and on recording last time we talked to you, you said this, and so explain that. And he's losing it. He starts talking more rapidly, and his wife's next to him, and his wife starts to realize, oh, the truth. Oh, you're guilty. Oh, you can't explain this. Oh, I know what's going on. Oh, you actually did it. And then the investigators, already know, and they're just trying to have him fess up. And he's sweating, and he's thinking and stuttering, and he talks, and then of course the investigators are very confident because we got you. Maybe they're just enjoying the moment, saying, oh yeah, keep going. How much more words can you say? This is very clear evidence. And so they just watch him self-destruct. It's just, and on Tuesday what happened was, it's because Bobby and Daryl, when they took me out to lunch, and he's losing it. He can't keep talking. He starts breaking down, and he has to pause, and he has to think of, and it's just there's one other thing, and he like a car that loses speed, it just breaks down on the road, and it just can't keep going, and he stops. He wants to talk. He knows that talking is how you get out of things, but he just doesn't have words anymore because he knows he's caught. He knows it. He's run out of lies. You can only tell so many lies. He's exasperated. He's tired, but he wants to keep going. It's like, there's some way out of this. I just have to keep talking. And in that long pause, as he's like thinking of, what else can I say? His wife is like, hey, it's okay. We all know now. You can stop. And that was amazing. That moment. Yeah. And then he stops and he's like coming to himself in that moment. And he has to surrender. He's like, I'm caught. But I don't want to admit it. I don't want to admit it. And so just that moment of silence and that realization and that stopping of all that suffering, that torment of feeling like you can get away with things as long as you think enough thoughts and say enough things and mislead people and distract people and live a life of smoke and mirrors. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. And people will believe you until, oh wait, the cops are here. The authorities are here. They're enforcing the law. They've come to your door. They're sitting on your couch. They're talking to you. They got evidence against you. It's come to an end. It's come to an end. And he's right there. And it's not just his criminal behavior that's coming to an end. It's this pathology, this lie, talk, and feeling like, oh, people are, they're just objects. I can just talk them away, and then it's not working. And he's like coming to an end of that and realizing and actually like stopping and having a moment to see himself. What am I doing? I lie and I'm lying and it's not working, and like actually it's just stopping. And that was very interesting, that his wife also just being very hurt and pained. I don't even want to hear it. Stop. Stop talking. You can stop doing this to yourself, because everyone in the room is seeing, look at this guy. He used to be in control. He used to be persuasive, but not in the face of all this evidence. And over time, now he's come down. He's fallen from such a great height where people would believe him, and he'd send them on goose chases. And after all that, they come back angry. They come back hitting him with the book, and he's gonna go to jail. And there's just this moment before he goes to jail, and they just see him, and he looks so small, and he feels so small, defeated, deflated. And yeah, there's just that moment of having to stop lying. It's not working anymore. It used to work. It failed me. I'm done. I'm done. And he surrenders. They don't have to force him. He's tired. I got nothing left in me. And so that's done. That's done. But you can see how leading up to that, he was very tormented because he thought he thought there was a way. But that was some relief for him to his mind. So that was very interesting, because in the movie was very noisy with his thoughts. We could hear his thoughts, and that was a very impactful moment, because it was such a contrast with all that noise, all his thinking, all his thoughts, talking, and then, whoa, the silence. It was unreal. As he stops talking, as his thoughts are just silenced. And so that's how we are in the world. Without God, you don't want to be left to your own thoughts. Your own thoughts torment you, and yet we think them, and we trust in them, and we produce them, and we want them to be generated. And now we have AI. Oh, you want some supplemental thoughts, so as if your thoughts are not enough, and you won't come to God. You double down. You run even further away from God. No, give me the AI. Give me the more suggestions, more talk into my life. Not from heaven, not that which is good and guaranteed unto life, but just from computer chips and binary programming, from computations. Oh yeah, what do you say? Just pushing buttons. And now what do you say? Oh, your answer changed? Oh, so it's not truth. It's just whatever it is going to come out of that. Whatever comes up. They had that. I went to, probably not around now, but they used to have what's called arcades. They have games, carnival. Uh, you'll see things like little groundhogs that pop up, and you have to slam them with the hammer. Maybe a little pad with the hammer you hit, and there's a little weight that has to rise up and hit a bell if you hit it hard enough. There's games in there, and then so all these amusements. I think maybe 10, 15 years ago they started disappearing. But in the 90s, 80s, it was big. And you see some older things, like, yeah, there's going to be this psychic thing that you just put your hand on it, it reads your hand temperature, and it's going to tell you it wants to be a robot psychic of your love life and finance and dreams and whatever. And it had all that. And one of them was I forget. They had things like that. Yeah, I was connecting it to AI. It'll tell you, yeah. So it would have things like that. It would just tell you suggestions, stories. Like I said, the psychics. It would have some strange stuff like that. But I was mentioning that to say, so today the trend is all this AI stuff. But even back then, they had people just want this input. Tell me. And just push a button. And we had the 8-ball. You turn it, you shake it. It had some, like a dice with words on it instead of numbers, in a liquid, and you just turn it and it float up and it give you an answer. It's divination. It's witchcraft. It's not good. It's not good. The Ouija board, all that witchcraft stuff. And we turn to it. For what? For answers. And what's the draw of it? Because God is available. God is real. God made us. He's calling us. He's speaking to us, and he makes himself known. He has preachers that are sent out that is preaching Jesus Christ, the way of life and righteousness, the truth, what's good, what's whole, what's holy, from God speaking to man. And so why do we need this other stuff? Why do we need other voices? Why do we run to that? Why do we manufacture these things? Why do we engage these? Because it doesn't tell us what to do. The 8-ball, you turn it up, you ask a question. Oh, it said no. It doesn't affect your life unless you want it to. See? Your choice. I can just shake it again. It said yes, I'll take that. Self-will. It supports self-will. God doesn't allow that. God doesn't give room for that. No, not you. What I say. That might be terrifying. John, are you sure that's God? That doesn't sound like God, because we've come very far. We've been deceived, distracted, and deceived. That sounds like bondage. That sounds like slavery. That sounds like oppression. Because we've gone so far from God. So many generations and so many corrupt men that have corrupted the doctrine. How? By not obeying. Because if they did do what God said and they continued to do it and maintained obedience, then they would see good and people wouldn't complain. People wouldn't be afraid of doing what God says. And so we're hypocritical because you do what the boss says. You do what the economist says. You do what the guy from CDC says. You do what your president says. You do what your daddy says. You do what the cop says. You do what they say. You accept orders and you do them because they got the money, they got the paycheck, they got the authority. So it's simply just not recognizing God as authority. But if you had the faith to accept that, no, God is the highest, and then you accept the instruction and you do it, then yeah, you wouldn't even be surprised that you get good. Of course you get good. He's all powerful and all knowing. Why wouldn't you obey him? Who else would you obey? So in Acts, I just read twice the disciples, the apostles, they're going to tell people, hey, should we hearken to you more than to God? And that they said that in a question form. So you tell me, what do you think? Because they really want them to obey man, listen to man, and they want to threaten them, but they're serving God. So they can't just say yes, 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 sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. They can try to maintain peace, obey the law of the land, but if they say something that goes against what God is saying, then they're going to have to tell them, hey, we obey God and we have to. If you tell us not to, then we do dismiss that, we disregard that. We can't. It doesn't matter if you threaten us with jailing or whipping, because God said, and that's final. So if you want to try to do whatever you want to do against the people that do the will of God, then there's no fear. There's no fear, no worry, no suffering, with absolute peace. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you guys want to whip us? You guys want to jail us? But we know what God said. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to keep doing that. No matter, even though you want to be all angry, you want to be ferocious and fierce and vicious, and okay, we trust in God, so we're not afraid of any of that. So they jail them, they come out, they whip them, but they rejoice. They rejoice. God counted us worthy to suffer for his name. We can't with these guys. What's going to stop them? God fills them with joy, fills them with peace, fills them with purpose, fills them with strength. We can't. I'm trying to tame the lion. No. You can't tame these. You can't tame these. You can try to whip them. Be quiet. Don't preach in the name of Jesus. And they just roar. They just walk about. No, this is our territory. This is you're on our land. We call the shots. We say what it is. They sing songs to God, and the prison keeper is on his knees. What must I do to be saved? What must I do? No, you're supposed to put us in jail, and you keep the key, and we're supposed to beg you, let us free, let us free. No, that's not what's happening. He's on his knees and begging the disciples of God, how can I be free? How can I be saved? What must I do? Yeah, he's on his knees. He's acknowledging, I'm the one that's not free. Free me. I need freedom. So we depart from the world. We recognize and we confess that the world is a lie. It's full of lies. Even yeah, they're gonna have hints of that here and there. One of the biggest uh, games from maybe about 7, 10 years ago, longer than that. That was a whole punchline of the game. You're in this science laboratory, and you're like a lab rat, and you're trying to escape, and you follow instructions, and that's the whole game. You're trying to you follow these instructions that uh, I guess the master of the laboratory is telling you to do, and then there's these little messages as you're traveling through this whole like a labyrinth or courses, and it's like someone wrote on the wall, "It's a lie, it's a lie," and people love that, and not understanding. Oh, that is very interesting. That was actually, I guess you could say a parable or a little microcosm, a little uh, miniature size of your actual life, your own life. The writing's on the wall. Hey, psst, it's a lie. It's a lie. Yeah, what your mama said is a lie. What your teacher said is a lie. What the news anchors are saying, it's a lie. As you go, as you progress, as you get the degree, as you get the license, and as you get the certificates and get the job and get the marriage and get the car and get the picket fence, hey, psst, it's a lie. It's a lie. You amass all that wealth, you build your barn, you open a Swiss bank account. It's a lie. It's a lie. What's the truth? It was there. It was sitting shotgun. It was that guy that was preaching to you that asked you, "Hey, do you know Jesus?" As you pass by him. No, I don't have time. God was trying to get your attention. And that was the truth. Just passed it. Just missed it. This message, these words that you hear, that little conviction in your heart, all these little signs and moments that are nudging you to, hey, it's a lie. You can confess it. You can confess your faults. You can lay it down. You can acknowledge the error of your ways and come to God. He's the truth. He's the way. He's the life. In Jesus' name.